the Snake River Stampede is known a lot for the performance of the Stampeders.
We're all kind of daredevils, we're all kind of adrenaline junkies, and so that's kind of what draws us to it.
I get lots of calls from people saying, I want to go on the night the Girls with the Lights ride.
And people show up and they're expecting it, that as soon as those lights come down.
It started when they moved the rodeo out of the old big outdoor venue, and Jimmy Hurley dreamt up this idea of having a drill team with lights on it because they were going to be indoors and the lights could be turned off and it could be dark even when it was light outside, and there are people that come apparently just to see the Stampeders ride. We didn't know we had to invent ourselves every step of the way because we didn't know it would, first that they could see or that their horses could see. We didn't know what would happen when we turned the lights off. We didn't have time to practice in the dark because it was the first year in the new arena. And the arena set up where we could practice in the dark until the night before the rodeo started. I think they just trusted me to either do it or say I can't.
Every year, the Stampeders hold tryouts. Over 30 women and horses come from all corners of the Treasure Valley in hopes of landing one of 18 spots on the team.
I've rodeoed, 50-some years, and I've never seen anything even close to them in the drill teams. Other drill teams don't even fun watching anymore after it. You get a bunch of girls out of the nowhere and they can train their horses and do that good, just saddle horses. They're not trained but by the girls.
So with the girls, we are looking for girls that ride well, that can do things out of the box. So there's a lot of equestrians that can ride really well, but we're looking for the ones who have a bit of an edge to them. Going fast or doing something out of the ordinary is not something that's going to unsettle them so much they can't get the job done. Looking for girls that can put their horse where they need to be when they need to be.
So if you guys will go kind of hang out, line up down here by the chutes, that'll be great. I'll start calling names and let you know who's up first. And now is the time if you have any questions. Please come over and ask if you have any questions at all. Up next, we have Savannah, Chris, and then Trisha.
We look for someone that rides well with their horse, and both the horse and the rider have a lot of confidence. And then we look for horsemanship skills beyond that.
For those riders who have their horses legged up, they're in shape, the girls are in shape, and keep their riding skills up. There's, a whole valley of girls that would just love the opportunity to be on this team. And if it was you've been on here before, so you're guaranteed to always be on here regardless of the level that you're at right now, then the ones who are excited and have been working hard and want to get their first chance, it needs to be fair for everybody.
It's still very nerve-wracking, I know I'm in good standing, I know they like me, I know they like my horse, but it's still
a little bit of stress to think, what if I have a bad tryout? What if some other girl, they like her better? So I like that aspect of it actually because it keeps me on my toes. And I know that we're gonna have the highest quality riders because they require that at tryouts every year.
Slowing? Okay, great job. Thank you very much. All good. I would like all the riders to come over here. Thanks so much for coming and freezing and braving it with us. Thank you.
I'm nervous every time I try out. Even after 4 or 5 years of trying out, I still get excited and the anticipation of making the team. Every year, that's why we try out, because they want to make sure that they've got the best combination of teammates. And so I think that it's best that we all get a little bit nervous and excited to be part of it.
I have been going to the Snake River Stampede rodeo since I can remember, and that also includes the Snake River Stampeders. I can remember always going and get their autographs. I can remember some of the girls that were on the team back then. It's always been in our family as a fun dream of ours to do this team, and so when I finally brought it up to our family that I was going to try out, half of the hearts kind of stopped and the other half were very excited. I sent about 10 emails asking, what do I wear? What do I do? How do I do? How do I ride? I asked every question I could ask in the book, and I showed up and I looked the part. I didn't really talk to anyone because I didn't know anyone, and I rode the best I could do.
I've been riding since I was 9, and I started out in horse 4-H, and I did horse 4-H clear up till I was a senior in high school, and I started rodeo queening when I was 16. In 1997 was my very first queen title, and it was when the Stampede moved into the indoor arena. And you know, Jimmy made the Stampeders that year, and they debuted in 1997. And I hustled to do my grand entry as the 1997 Gym State Junior Queen. Now I'm definitely dating myself here. And I hustled to put my horse up and run up there just so I could see the Stampeders, and I just thought they were amazing. There was nothing better than being a Stampeder, and I knew as soon as I hung up my hat as being a rodeo queen that I was going to be a Stampeder someday.
The first practice, we try to figure out who's going to ride in what position the best, and by that meaning the faster riders end up riding in the back and the more moderate riders end up riding in the front. And then we have to have somebody riding in the front that are leaders that are going to be able to understand the drill, how the drill works, and be able to remember the whole drill.
Of course, you have the pressure just to make sure that you're leading the drill correctly, that you're going, you know, that you don't break the pattern. When your horse is running in a small arena like that, one maneuver to the next is just like, you know, so it's just quick thinking and making sure that your horse is ready to make whichever direction you're going in a split second. And with my horse, I know that I need to just be on top of it, and if we're doing something where we're trying to get as close to the fence as possible and then a really quick right, I need to know that I need to make sure that she knows that's where I'm angling. So if I kind of got off center, like in the last move, I need to make sure that she doesn't think I'm gonna go to the left if I kind of got off center, because our horses really do depend on those cues.
Gabby, when you get to the double tone on the side, I want you to cross across the center toward the other double tone on the other side. And then I want you to split and go to opposite ends.
So when I'm leading, I'm very conscious of the people behind me and making sure that I'm doing things that they can follow easily. Versus as a follower, I'm trying to track that person in front of me and keep my interval all the time, because it's really obvious to the audience if we're off center or if I'm too close or too far away. And this particular drill is interesting because I do both, actually. So I lead for about half of it and then I follow for about half of it. And I really like that because I have to again, stay mentally involved and think differently throughout it, and that is really fun and helpful for me to have to really keep my brain engaged.
For me, I think it's the pinwheel, because I'm at the end and I'm going fast and you've got to maneuver, through horses and going different speeds, and I've got to look at the opposite end, and I'm like, hey, how do I do? Got to watch her, and then I got to watch my rider next to me, make sure there's enough space in between each other. So that one's kind of challenging. Makes you a little nervous.
And I have strict little rules that they tease me about or laugh about, but they better not let me catch them with gum in their mouths. I'm from the South. Women especially, with your mouth open, and so no gum. And I like them to wear makeup, and I like them to look pretty, especially when they ride in parades and things. I like them to be very presentable, because people don't get to see their pretty little faces when they're riding out there in the dark.
She likes the big rodeo queen hair, and that's just curls and a lot of back combing and hairspray.
She expects us to have what she calls queen hair, queen makeup, queen smile on, and we're not allowed to smoke, drink, or swear. And a lot of that is because we're an image of the rodeo. We're an image of what little girls look up to. She has those for a reason, and she just likes what she says, a pretty face.
If you're chewing gum and she walks up, you better swallow it.
Really quick. She's Southern.
No chewing gum.
No chewing gum, and you must have lipstick on.
Must have lipstick.
We start out at one of those higher levels when we start our practices, just because we have better riders. Most of them have done some type of drill before, not all of them, but it helps when we get started that we could start out at a higher level. We don't have to start from the bare essentials.
The first couple practices, we were already loping, and I was kind of, my heart was thumping. I was a little scared. But that's mainly the big difference, is a lot of these girls have a lot of really fantastic and amazing experience, and it really helps and shows in the horsemanship that's down in the arena, especially doing it in the dark.
So get up to her butt. Yeah, so you'd be right here.
Come on, kind of move you. I'm glad we're doing this now. I'm not. Thank you, Trisha. I love you.
This is how we get. Yeah. And then they see the gate open and we all just file out.
Communication, I would say, is the #1 thing. And I never knew how much we communicated until I got on the team. Growing up watching, you can't hear them down in the arena. You might be able to hear one or two, but the music is so loud, you can't hear them yelling in between each other.
We always try to, holler at each other, and we know that above the music and everything, nobody else is going to hear us, but we try to warn each other if anything's, something happened and somebody's slowing up or a horse stumbles or trips. We know that we have to pass it on back. Hey, slowing down or speeding up, and we have to yell.
Keep your spacing!
Most drill teams ride with whistles, so they have a whistle, and that's when they change maneuvers. So the whole team knows, okay, we're changing right now. We don't use any whistles with the Stampeders. There are some maneuvers that are virtually undoable because we can't use a whistle. So I'll pick the maneuvers and try to pick something maybe that we haven't done recently or haven't done at all with this drill team, and then try to modify it so that it can be done by the Stampeders without a whistle. We put a maneuver in this year that they've never done before, and we figured out a way to get into it and get out of it. It's a suicide pinwheel.
Side to side spacing. Make sure you get the same space on both sides of you, and there's room for a horse to go through. Chris is setting the pace.
So you have 4 arms, 2 going one way and 2 going the other, and they pass through each other. And that's why it's called a suicide, because they have to pass through each other and intermesh as they're going in 2 circles. We have one that's an offset kind of a suicide charge that we pretty much do that one every year. And it's kind of a stampede or move, and that's one of the ones that other drill teams would probably do it in a straight line, because there would be a whistle, everybody would turn and they'd go through at a suicide in a straight line. And the Stampeders do it offset at an oblique, because the first rider can turn and then that cues the rest of them to turn to do their suicide pass-through. Depending on what color of lights we're using, then we have to line those lights up right. And the girls cue off of those lights if they're crossing or doing a certain maneuver where they have to look across and see someone with a certain color light that they're going to have to go by. So that makes it a little bit more challenging to ride a drill.
Rodeo week finally arrives. The team will only get a few chances to practice in the dark before they perform in front of an audience.
I have said this forever and a day. We can ride together, all the girls. We start in April, we end in July, and there is just something about Stampede Week that brings everybody together. We see each other every single Monday, but when Stampede Week comes, the whole atmosphere, the camaraderie, everything, I really genuinely believe it all changes. It's that bond just comes together and everybody's just looking out for one another. Not that we're not looking out for one another on Monday nights, don't get me wrong about that, it's just different. That's another thing that keeps me coming back every year too, is there's just nothing beats that week.
This is really kind of a family thing too, which I truly love. The light group usually ends up being fathers or boyfriends or husbands, and they're our best supporters. And Tony has been our light guru since the very beginning, and knowing how to put battery systems together and run all these lights and take lights that were originally designed for not at all what we do, and designing them to put on these horses and costumes for the girls, I just think is amazing. And our light guys are our drivers to get us safely to Vegas, and we could not do this without them. They do an amazing job in the alley. It's different when you've got 16 horses packed in an alley. They're antsy, they know what's coming up. The girls are a little nervous. The horses can feel and feed, that kind of feeds straight to them. And they're down there keeping the team where they need to be, paying attention to the show, running the gates for us.
We could not do what we do if we didn't have lots of support behind us. We have parents, boyfriends, husbands that come and spend the whole week making sure that we stay lit. They're working on lights way before we even do tryouts, so it's a long process to get all the lights put together and have them going. And then during rodeo week, again, they're there all week long making sure that stuff is going the way it's supposed to.
Family's everything. I don't know how we would do it without it. My parents are at every single event. They have supported us from day one. They've supported the group from day one. They bring the sound system every single week for them. They sit through everything. My dad has driven to the NFR both times, and probably this third time he will again. And my husband taking care of the children so I can ride and being my support system there, and especially during Stampede Week.
For me personally, I couldn't do what I do without my husband. He's also really supportive in me continuing to do this and to come and be a part of it with me, even though he doesn't get to be in the spotlight. He really wants to ride with us, and he's very frustrated that it's only girls. He's pretty convinced that he should be able to wear a wig and make it happen.
Because we ride so close together, our horses could nick one of each other on the leg, so it's mainly just for safety. Plus it helps protect them against anything else.
while you practice all the time in the daylight, being in there in the dark, it's different for the girls, it's different for the horses, and even though we measure out the other arena and it's the exact same size, getting in here with the panel walls and the whole atmosphere is different, the dirt's different, the horses move different on the ground, so it takes a couple of run-throughs to kind of start feeling normal. And then this is our first chance for our ground crew to really, for us to go through everything. It was like I was telling our two young girls that are the opening of our act, I want you to do everything through the practice like it's beginning Tuesday night. It's all of those things, just like when you leave your house, turn off the lights, lock the door. It's all then, we want it all to become normal. The opening the gate, to the run into the position, when you shut your lights off, the running out the side gate of the arena. So it's that making it feel second nature. Second nature. Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna do good tonight, right? Yeah, of course.
Being a stampeder isn't without its risks, however. As with any sport, accidents can happen.
We're just like the pros when it comes to accidents. Barrel racers can fall, team ropers, horse can fall, slip. You know, it's one of those things that just because we're a drill team doesn't mean we're any different.
Watching them ride, I'm saying a prayer the whole time they're out there. Literally, I'm praying the whole time they're out there. God, just be with them, take care of them, don't let them get hurt. And when they ride out, I breathe a big sigh of relief. I'm glad when it's over. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if someone got seriously hurt.
Right now we're throwing up a little bit of our intelligent lighting just so everybody can see what's going on down there a little better. And we'll let them take the time they need in order to make sure horse and rider are okay.
We're going again.
Line up, get in. We're going to start it from the top.
From the top, let's go.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, two things. First of all, the stampeder that was injured is up and talking, and she's going to be okay.
Even after a fall, the team is able to get back together and start over to give their audience a full performance.
Our dear eternal Heavenly Father, as we humbly bow our heads this time, we give thanks for all of our many blessings. We especially thank Thee for the opportunity we have of living in this great country and the freedoms that we enjoy. We thank Thee for the opportunity we have of being a part of this great organization and the opportunity we have to bond with our horses and to make friends and to entertain our neighbors. At this time, we ask Thee for a special blessing. We ask Thee to please bless these girls that they provide safe and keep Thou hand upon their heads, watch over them, that they may do their show in safety.
I think theirs was like 2 minutes and some odd seconds. Yeah.
Well, and they were supposed to go in at 8:13. And it was 8:11 when they came out. So we may be ahead.
We may be ahead a little bit.
I would have to say that my favorite part of being a stampeder is right before the drill when all of us girls ride down into the alleyway, or whether we're in one of the roping boxes, depending on what corresponding area we're coming in at during the drill. And it's completely dark in the arena. You can't see your own hand in front of your face. You can't see your partner next to you. It's dark, it's cold, and the music starts. And there's almost this calm before the storm where your adrenaline starts to go, I get butterflies in my stomach, and I totally read off my horse's energy, all of us girls do. And I can feel her start to breathe faster, and I can feel her heartbeat underneath her saddle. And as soon as we take that first step into the arena, it's like all the butterflies go out the door, all the adrenaline goes out, and it's this beautiful mesh of Jimmy's dream and the light crew's talent and each girl and their horse's passion that just kind of come together and make some of the most amazing few moments of rodeo entertainment. All the kids come up for autographs after the rodeo each night, and they're a little bit shocked to see that we're actually the girls that ride in the dark, because you can't see us, and it's kind of hard to tell that it's a bunch of young women. Being able to do those difficult maneuvers definitely comes with practicing every week. Each girl and their horse kind of has this teamwork going on together, and it's just really about trust.
Hey everybody, watch your step because it's about to get dark in here. Yeah. So keep your hands to yourself. We gotta be able to trust you tonight. Well, because we're going to show you something. If you've got phones with a camera, if you've got phones with a video, then you need to get them both handy, okay? This is the most decorated drill team on planet Earth. They're the only team ever to be invited to perform at the National Finals Rodeo, and they've done it 3 times. Come on, they're part of the Treasure Valley. Treat them like it. The Stampeders. Somebody scream! From the Olympic Games in Salt Lake City to the International Finals of the Thomas and Mack in Las Vegas, Nevada. A high-speed nightlight drill team. Come on, everybody, that's awesome!
Dirt Claude.
Yeah, riding a little too fast indoors
Nope.
with the lights off. Yeah.
Nope.
Thank goodness you had your glasses.
I know. It hit me square in the nose, though. It wasn't like in my eyes, but yeah. First time for blood, you know, it's all good.
I feel awesome. It's amazing. It's so much more adrenaline when you got the crowd and all the lights out there. And Boyd's voice, it's just amazing.
But it was so much more fun and adrenaline than I could have ever expected. Just going out there, you know the routine, you know what you're doing, and you just kind of go for it.
I'm so super excited, so happy. They did a super job. Jimmy told me that
Of all the things that they have run through that arena tonight, we got the most cheers, screams, yells, and the girls did just awesome. I'm over the moon.
It's an honor to be a Stampeder, to be a part of this elite group of women who do something truly amazing on their horses. It's amazing to think that I'm a part of this group. We are talked about across the country, and we have a huge fan base, and we're a role model, and it's my limelight time.
Sit up all straight.